Good afternoon, Lions fans. Jason talking. Great. Glad to be with you here today. Going to talk the injury report. Week 4, Cleveland Browns come to Detroit, facing the Detroit Lions. How is the injuries going to affect this game? Let's check it out.
Welcome to Talking Grit.
All right, before we get to the injuries, just want to remind everybody we do this weekly. Every Friday, if it's a Sunday game, I will release this injury report. We'll talk about how it's going to affect the upcoming game between the two teams. It's no different today. Browns, Lions, we're going to talk about that. Like and subscribe this video. Then you get notifications when it comes out. You have no questions of when this is going to get released. But generally, Friday afternoon, after it gets released after 4 o'clock, that's when I'll shoot the video and get this out to you. So, and I'm glad to do it. Love these Lions. And let's get to this list. It's not as scary as it was last year. All right. First of all, we're going to go over the Browns first. List looks pretty long. However, really, they only have one person that's questionable on the list, and that's Jack Conklin. He is listed as questionable. Coach Stefanski, said that it's not going to be known until Sunday whether he's going to play or not. We'll have to wait and see. He is their starting right tackle. They already have injuries on this offensive line. DeJuan Jones, who was their starting left tackle, is going to be out. So we'll see. That's going to definitely affect the game for the Browns and our pass rush. Everybody else is looking good. You see Myles Garrett on there, full practice, nothing to worry about there. David Njoku was limited practice earlier this week. He went to a full practice. The other name I want to bring up for them is Denzel Ward, cornerback, very good cornerback. Listed no practice on Wednesday. So if you listen to our podcast with Jacob and I, we had question with him. We talked with Joey O'Donohue from the Browns report. He said that he expected Denzel Ward to play. Turns out he was right. So expect him to be out there manning one of the corner positions. Let's get on to our Lions, right? Because that's what we all came here to see. We got 3 players listed as out. 2 of them you may have expected just based on the injury report earlier this week. Daniel Thomas, which is safety. He's mostly there on special teams. Sione Vaki, backup running back, played last week, injured his groin in the Baltimore game. He's going to be out in this game. That means that we're going to see the return of Craig Reynolds, who was a surprise inactive for last week's game. So we'll see. Sione Vaki was out returning kicks. We'll see if it's going to be Jacob Sailors and Craig Reynolds. That's kind of what I expect. However, Grant Stewart may be back out there. Dave Phipp, the special teams coordinator, made it seem like they wanted better hands and an offensive player back there last week because of what Baltimore does on their kicks. So we'll see if that thought process plays through with the Browns, or if they go back to Grant Stewart returning kicks back there. The surprise out based on how things were going this week is Zach Cunningham. He injured his hamstring on Thursday's practice. He was listed as a limited practice, and then Friday's out. So a lot of times they get injured in practice. It's really tough for them to play in on Sunday, and that looks to be the case for Zach Cunningham, unfortunately. There's 2 other big names listed on this list that might be concerning to Lions fans. However, I think we're going to be all right. Taylor Decker has not practiced this week, but the same thing. Last week, he was very limited practice. Didn't practice on Thursday and Friday. Did practice a little bit on Saturday. This week, didn't practice at all. Dan Campbell addressed that in the press conference earlier today, saying Taylor Decker can get a lot through just walkthrough because he is the most veteran player on this team, especially on the offensive line. So he can get a lot through walkthroughs. There's not a lot he needs reps for. So looking like he's going to be ready to go. This is the deal with the shoulder, same shoulder he had shoulder surgery on. Dan Campbell just indicated that they're just trying to play it safe. Okay. So I would expect this, much like a couple years ago when Frank Ragnow showed up on the injury list every week. This is how it looks like it's going to be for Taylor Decker this year. Al-Quadin Muhammad was the other player listed, and he was surprised did not practice on Wednesday. However, Justin Rogers, beat reporter, talked to him after Wednesday practice, said he expects to be out there. He has been limited practice. both Thursday and Friday today. He's listed as questionable. I'm going to expect him to play, especially with Marcus Davenport being out. Al-Qadim Muhammad had 2.5 sacks for his Baltimore. I want him out there. I want him to provide, you know, decent run coverage and also be able to get after the quarterback. Got a stationary quarterback this week. I want to be able to get after him. The other player that's listed on our injury report, they don't have a game status listed for him. I expect him to play, and that's Derek Barnes. And you know how big of a player Derek Barnes is for this defense. Can play all over. Kelvin Shepard's had 5 positions on this defense that Derek Barnes can play. I got a nice sack against Lamar Jackson. Is uncovered, crashed down, got Lamar Jackson by the shoestrings, which is always tough to do. So that was pretty awesome to see. So Calvin Shepard also indicated that he pounded the table with Brad Holmes to make sure they re-signed Derek Barnes. He said he needs this player on defense. So looks like Kelvin's going to get his wish this week, and Derek Barnes will be back out there. He's very important on this defense. So all in all, the injury list is pretty short, especially what we experienced last year. So I'm happy about this. I can't wait to go. I'll be there on Sunday, and I'll be cheering my heart out. Go Lions!